guys, welcome back to Nana Meg's cooking videos. I'm just so glad to be back. So today we are making one of my favorite things ever. It's actually the thing that everybody suggested that I do a cooking video on way back when I started in the spring, but it's a very fall meal. So I waited to make it until now. It's pumpkin soup, and it is amazing. So if you've ever had my pumpkin soup, comment on this so people know that I'm not just crazy, because when you make it and you see all the ingredients that go into it, people are like, I'm not so sure. And then you take that first bite and you're like, oh, this is amazing. It's like, it's wonderful. Truly wonderful. And I even wore my pumpkin pie earrings in honor of the pumpkin soup we're gonna make. And yes, my hair has not been cut or dyed since March. It's 2020 and we're just gonna go with it. That's what we're doing these days, right? Oh, it was fun to put my crown back on this morning. I missed you guys a lot. Okay, so the first thing, this is a pumpkin soup, but you serve the soup hot in a bowl, and then you ladle or spoon relish into the soup, and then the person who eats it stirs it up, and it's incredible. So the first thing we're gonna do is make the soup, okay? I mean, no, it's 2020. The first thing we're gonna do is make the relish, so it's ready to go, so I don't have to stop mid cooking the soup, because once you start cooking the soup, I mean, it's ready quick. It's one of my favorite things to make. So I already have 6 cups of stock started over here. You can use vegetable or chicken, whatever your preference is. But let's make our relish. So, and of course, wash all your vegetables. All your fruits and vegetables have to be washed. That doesn't have anything to do with Corona. That is just 100% what you should be doing and should have been doing all along. Wash those vegetables. So we're gonna cut up an apple. We're gonna cut up 2 apples, actually. My favorite is the Honeycrisp. And the way I like to do it is I just cut like a square, make just 4 cuts till the core is like a little square. And then I'll turn it flat, turn it on the flesh side, and you make, it depends on how big you want it. I like it pretty small, but it doesn't have to be teensy-tiny for this, because it's good to bite into a nice yummy apple. And just cut it like that, and then turn it this way, and cut, and you've got whole bunches of little pieces, and then I'm just putting them in a bowl, just like that, okay? So we're gonna do both apples, just chop, 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 and I'll be right back. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna put in this relish is a red onion, not a yellow onion, a red onion. I'm gonna put a half of this onion finely chopped into this relish. And one of the things I should have said at the beginning is I really like the relish, so I double the recipe for the relish. Like the original recipe for this calls for 1 apple, 1/4 of a red onion, and obviously you can do the math. I do it half. I mean, I do it twice as much as the original. Okie dokie. So we're gonna cut our onion ends off, just like then peel it one side, and then cut the other end off. And I'm gonna cut it in half. Hold on, let me get all these out of the way. Yes. I'm going to peel it, just like that. And I'm gonna lay it down. And I'm gonna cut what I see, there's like little well, you can see that here, like little rainbows. So I'm gonna cut rainbows. And then once I get done cutting, and I want these pretty thin, because you don't want because this is not getting cooked. This relish doesn't get cooked. So it's pretty, you don't want giant chunks of red onion. So I cut it pretty small. But this, I mean, these get the little chunks. You know, when you do it this way, it gets them pretty itty bitty. Can you see that? So that's what we're doing, and I'll be back, okay? Okay, next ingredients. Now you can probably tell I had a little clicker last time that I thought was super fun, but I don't know where that went. And we're not super high tech here at Nana Meg's Kitchen. I think, well, for example, the phone is basically perched on my my magnetic paper towel holder on the fridge. That's how, so it might shake a little bit when I turn it on. Sorry about that. But okay, so we need 2 teaspoons of honey is what it calls for. So I'm going to put 4 teaspoons of honey. I just washed my hands really good because this really takes, you have to, if you're going to measure it out. And I don't always measure everything out in a soup because, you know, sometimes it really can be just what you want it to be. It's cooking, not baking. You know, baking, you better measure it out. But for this, I mean, you need a finger to get in there. So I just, right before I turned the camera back on, I washed my hands really good again. And I'm gonna get 4 teaspoons of honey in here. And this is just normal honey. If you can get like good local honey or something, oh, all the better. But this is, y'all, and I know you're thinking this is crazy ingredients and haven't even gotten to the crazy stuff yet, but it really, this is the most wonderful soup, and it's so good. Like, my son has made this a couple of times for his friends in college and after college, you know, living with roommates in New York and stuff, and they love it too. Everybody loves this recipe. It's really, it's good. Oh, snap. Was that 3 or 4? I'm gonna put 1 more. Okay, who knows? I'll find out when I watch the video. You know, everything is okay. And that is what we gotta go with. I hope everybody's doing good and getting ready for some holiday celebrations and everything. Right now, my house, ooh, I'm being vulnerable here. My house on the inside is all harvest and Thanksgiving and pumpkins. And I have broken tradition and put up the Christmas lights and decorations outside. I haven't put the wreaths on the windows, but I have put the lights up. I just needed it. And I absolutely come home every day and see it and giggle, and it makes me happy. And that means it's okay. And even when I'm not okay, it's okay. I love you guys. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands again and we'll do the rest of the ingredients. Okay, here we go. All right, so now I've already pre-measured this out. This is 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Ooh, I said it right, I'm so proud. I'm sorry, that's 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of chili powder. You did not hear that wrong, chili powder. And 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. And keep in mind, this is the doubled recipe. So for the relish, I've doubled the relish recipe because I really like the relish. So anybody that doesn't love the relish, you don't have to put this much in there. And then it's a 1/2 cup of craisins, or cranberry, dried cranberries. And I really like the cranberries, so I just put, so the recipe calls for a 1/2 cup, so I just put a cup, but that's all that was left in the bag, so I put the whole bag in. And you want a bigger bowl to stir this in because I'm making a mess trying to stir this all up. But you just stir it up, get it all mixed in there, and then you're good to go. And you just set that to the side, and now we're gonna make the soup. Okay, so now we're ready to make the soup part, all right? I've got the relish over here just hanging tight, and we're gonna make the soup. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna prep the vegetables that have to go in there. I'm gonna cut the onion. I like to cut both ends, sort of peel off the side, and sometimes I make a little indent, and then I peel off the outside rim there. And I'm gonna cut it in half, make rainbows, just like that. Oh, you can't see it on the thing. Oh, shoot. I go up here. Now you can see it. Yay. Then we're going right here, and we're going to make just nice little pieces. And see, then when it falls apart in like little pieces because you cut it with the, using the rainbows method, and then you switch it at the end and tip it over, and you get them all done. It makes it nice and easy, just like that. And this is a nice way to cut onions all the time for any soup or any, even like meatloaf or whatever, because depending on what you're cooking, you need a different size piece of onion. And this is a real easy way, because when you cut the rainbows, you either cut wider rainbows or thinner rainbows. So it's easy. Okay, so we've got all our onions chopped up in here. The other reason I like to do that method with the rainbows and then the sides is it makes them all almost the same size, which is really great when you're cooking, because then everything cooks about the same level. You're not overcooking something and undercooking something else. That's kind of the goal. Make it all edible. Okay, so now I'm gonna cut up some celery. It says finely chopped, so I'm gonna slice down the middle and then slice each of those slices one time. So let me show you what that looks like. So I slice down the middle. So I've got two pieces, ha ha ha. Is that how the count does it in Sesame Street? And then I'm gonna cut each of those pieces one more time. Now we have 4 pieces, ha ha ha. And so you have like that. So that makes smaller bits so that when I cut them all like this, they're all about the same size and they're smaller. So I'm gonna get all my celery. I have 4 stalks, and I'm gonna cut them all like this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so first off, I'm ready to chop. And then we're gonna put the onions and the celery in the pot with a good turn of olive oil, okay? And so, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the olive oil in the pot and turn the pot on like medium while I'm chopping this, so the oil's already kind of hot when I put it in, and I don't have to wait on that, okay? So I'm gonna do a couple good turns. I know that's not really an actual measurement, but sorry. And this is totally random. Anytime I make a soup that has milk or cream in it, I set out the cream and open the top of it when I start cooking and when I start prepping all the vegetables and everything, so that the milk, it's not going to warm up to where it's not safe in that amount of time. And we're talking like 15-20 minutes here. But that way it's not freezing cold right out of the fridge and brings the temperature down of the soup. So if you're making this as I'm talking to you, go ahead and set out some heavy cream, okay? All right, I'm gonna chop this, and we'll put it in the, and so what I do is I just hold it like this and do like this. So that end is flat like this, and just cut through the whole stack, and then you get a bunch of pieces that are all about the same size, which is exactly what you want, and you're not having to cut each little stalk by itself, that would be exhausting. Now, if you need something cut finer than this, you can always put it in, like a food processor type situation or a Cuisinart. And then when it gets down here to the end where it's hard to hold on, you can tap again, and if you can get them level, you can do that. But really at this point, I just chunk. I'm like, that's really all I needed. So sometimes when a recipe calls for 2 or 3 stalks of celery, I'll use 3 or 4, because I do kind of waste a little bit, put that in the composter. It's not that tragic. But okay, so now I'm going to put the oil's getting hot. You can see it kind of bubbly. And I'm going to put the celery and onions right there in on it, okay? And I'm going to stir the celery and the onions with the olive oil. And I'm going to put 2 bay leaves in. Okay. And then I'm going to put in about 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning. Now, poultry seasoning does not mean chicken byproduct stuff. You can totally get vegan poultry seasoning, okay? So you can put that right in there, and then I'm just gonna saute these veggies on medium to medium high heat for about 7 to 8 minutes, okay? Okay, I'm back. So now we've let the vegetables cook for about 7-8 minutes, and the onions are translucent, and I think it's ready to keep going. So we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of just regular all-purpose flour, and I'm gonna put that right in there and stir that around. And this makes like a little roux. We're not gonna cook this, but for like a minute. And while it's doing that, and I'm stirring it kind of vigorously to try to make sure that, see how there's no bright white spots left in there? Okay, the recipe calls for 2 teaspoons of Tabasco. I do 3 shakes, 1, 2, 3, because I love the flavor of hot and spicy things. My mouth will not tolerate the burn. I am one giant wimp, and to be perfectly honest with you, sometimes ketchup is too spicy for me. And I know that's lame, but it's the truth. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt, probably about a teaspoon of salt. And we're gonna put that in there. And now it has kind of gotten to be a golden brown, like pasty mixture in there. So there we go. And I have been heating up my stock over here, my vegetable stock. And I'm just gonna pour that right in there. But that way, you want it heated up so that it's not like a shock to the system or whatever. See, my paper towel holder's falling down. Oh my gosh, hold on. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry, I'm probably shaking. The thing's probably shaking. My makeshift tripod sticking the phone to the paper towel holder is just doing great, guys. We're doing great. We're doing great over here. I'm actually loving it, and everything is great. So I've got the vegetable stock in here. I've put salt in at the last minute when I was making that roux, and now this is nutmeg. I'm putting in about a half a teaspoon of just nutmeg at this point. We're getting it going in there. All right. And now I take one, what is it? 29 ounce can. 29? It says 29. I thought they came in 28 ounce sizes. But I'm putting the 29 ounce can of just good old fashioned pumpkin in there. But about the Tabasco. So my son made it one time when he was in college, and I had forgot to tell him that was a whole lot. And so he made it exactly like the recipe said, which is what, I had written down the recipe for him, because on my kids' 20th birthdays, I made them both handwritten recipe books. Sent out, got special paper, and sent the paper all over the United States, and got special recipes from friends and family members, and then put them in, each recipe is in like a little plastic sheet, and gave him a 3-ring binder chock full of awesome recipes. So he was making this in college. That was a huge rabbit trail. So this is what it looks like now. See? So you've got the pumpkin, you see the bay leaves in there, and don't leave the bay leaves in there. At the end, take the bay leaves out, because you don't want someone eating a bay leaf. So I'm just stirring it until it's all smooth, and I can tell that that roux, you get the yummies on the bottom of the pan. You don't want them burnt, but like when I make that roux, the flour sticks to the bottom of the pan and makes that thicky part, okay? And you can tell by the feel that it's all up off the bottom, and I'm stirring it for for it to thicken just for a minute or two. And then I'm gonna add 2 cups heavy whipping cream. This is the only part that's not actually vegan. Like if you use vegetable stock and don't buy poultry seasoning that actually has poultry in it. So just use whatever you use for cream for vegan, okay? So I'm gonna pour this right in there, just like that. Let's see here. And we're gonna stir it around. But anyway, I was saying about the Tabasco sauce. And he made it and it was super spicy. I think they still ate it because it's so good. But yeah, 2 teaspoons just seems like way too much Tabasco sauce for me. I seriously do 3 just little shakes of, oh my, this thing is gonna fall off. Ah! Hold on, holy macaroni. All right, wow, yeah, this is some high quality, what do you call it? Video editing going on right here, buddy. Can you, I feel like I need to squat, be shorter. I never thought I'd say that. Heavens to Betsy. There we go. I'm back. But you can't see the crown. That's criminal. You have to be able to see the crown. I mean, really? I mean, come on. So anyway, all right. So just be careful. You can always add more at the end. I suggest starting with 3 or 4 shakes and then adding more at the end if you like it or if you need it, because it is tasty in there. Okay, so now we're done with the soup. This is what it's supposed to look like. It's chock full of flavor. You won't believe it. But what we do now is we put the soup in a bowl and then you ladle the relish in the middle. I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a ladle full of the soup and put it in there. I'm actually going to do a ladle and a half, like that. And then let me move this out of the way so you can kind of see what it looks like. Can you see it there? Or maybe I should just keep it here. That looks better. Okay, there we go. And then, you know, you want to give your relish a little bit of a stir because there is lemon juice in it, so you want it kind of mixed back up. And then you can take a smaller spoonful or a giant, like 2 or 3 small spoonfuls or 1 giant spoonful, and just put it right in the center. Just like this. Do you see how pretty that is? It's beautiful. I had a friend of mine that made this for a bridal shower. I think it was a baby shower. And everybody was like, oh, pumpkin soup. And then everybody wanted more. It's so good, y'all. One of the things you have to keep in mind is there's only 8 cups of liquid in this, 2 cups of cream and 6 cups of stock. So if you're feeding a lot of people, you need to make more. This is not a huge batch of soup. Or if you're making it for your friends and they're all going to eat 3 or 4 bowls, make more. It's stunningly good, y'all. I love you so much. And I have enjoyed this probably more than I should admit to, but thank you for listening and thank you for being here with me, and everybody just be kind and love one another and we're all going to be good. Mwah. And I was told that I should say like, comment, and subscribe below, but I don't really know what that, I mean, I know what like and comment means. I do that all the time. I don't really know what subscribe means, but y'all, I love you. Help me do more. Mwah. Bye. Hey guys. So I realized that I didn't put the little like highlight boxes up on everything because it's kind of a bigger recipe this time. So I'm just gonna take a video of the actual recipe, and I've written the hand edits on there that I've done, and I hope that it's easier for you to see it like all written out like that. Like you can just take a screenshot of that part or something. I don't know. Try that. Love you guys. Mwah. Okay, so here's the video, and no, I don't know how to get the shadow off of it. Sorry. But as you can see, you used to call for butter, and I just do like a good extra turn of olive oil. And originally I didn't put the poultry seasoning up in the comments, but it's down here. You know, it's a typical mom recipe. Tori and Logan will tell you what that means. Love you guys so much, and Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And everybody have courage and be kind. Bye.